Hello everyone, I am Aishi Datta from Ixpoe. The topic which we are going to learn today is roots. Root in botany is that part of a vascular plant normally underground. Its primary functions are anchorage of the plant, absorption of water and dissolved minerals, and conduction of these to the stem, and the storage of reserve foods. The roots differ from the stem mainly by lacking leaves, scars, and buds, having a root cap and having branches that originates from internal tissue rather than from buds. Types of root and root system. The primary root or radicle is the first organ to appear when a seed germinates. It grows downward into the soil, anchoring the seedling. In gymnosperms and dicotyledons, angiosperms with two seed leaves, the radicle becomes a taproot. It grows downward and secondary root grows laterally from it to form a taproot system. In some plants, such as carrots and turnips, the taproot also serves as food storage. Grasses and other monocotyledons angiosperms with a single seed leaf have a fibrous root system characterized by a mass of roots of about equal diameter. This network of roots does not arise as branches of the primary root but consists of many branching roots that emerge from the base of the stem. Here you can see the image of taproot and fibrous root. Some roots called adventitious root arise from an organ other than the root, usually a stem, sometimes a leaf. They are especially numerous on underground stem, such as rhizomes, corn, and tubers, and make it possible for vegetatively propagate many plant from stem or leaf cutting. Certain adventitious roots, known as aerial roots, either pass for some distance through the air before reaching the soil or remain hanging in the air. Some of these, such as those seen in corn, maize, screw pine, and banyan, eventually arise in support of the plant in the soil. In many epiphytic plants, such as various orchids and Tillandsidia species, aerial roots are the primary means of attachment to non-soil surface such as other plants and rocks. Here you can see different kinds of adventitious root: tuberous root, fasciculated root, moniliform root, annulated root, and nodulous root. A number of other specialized roots exist among vascular plants. Pneumatophores, commonly found in mangrove species that grow in saline mud flats, are lateral roots that grow upward out of the mud and water to function as the site of the oxygen intake for the submerged primary root system. The roots of certain parasitic plants are highly modified into haustoria, which embed into a vascular system of the host plant to feed the parasite. The nodular root of many members of pea family, Fabaceae, host symbiotic nitrogen-fixing bacteria, and many plant roots also form intricate associations with mycorrhizal soil fungi. A number of non-photosynthetic mycoheterotrophic plants, such as Indian pipe, rely exclusively on these fungi for nutrition. Morphology and growth. Roots grow in length only from their ends. The very tip of the root is covered by a thimble-shaped root cap, which serves to protect the growing tip as it makes its way through the soil. Just behind the root cap lies the apical meristem, a tissue of actively dividing cell. Some of the cells produced by the apical meristem are added to the root cap, but most of them are added to the region of elongation, which lies just above the meristematic region. It is in the region of elongation that growth in the length occur. Above this elongation zone lies the region of maturation, where the primary tissue of the root matures, completing the process of cell differentiation that actually begins in the upper portion of the meristematic region. The primary tissue of the root are from outermost to innermost the epidermis, the cortex, and the vascular cylinder. The epidermis is composed of thin-walled cell and is actually only one cell layer thick. The absorption of water and dissolved minerals occur through the epidermis, a process greatly enhanced in most land plants by the presence of root hair, slender tubular extensions of the epidermal cell wall that are found only in the region of maturation. The absorption of water is chiefly via osmosis, which occurs because water is present in higher concentration in the soil than with the epidermal cells, where it contains salts, sugar, and other dissolved organic products. The membrane of the epidermal cell permeable of is permeable to water but not to many of the substances dissolved in the internal fluid. This condition creates an osmotic gradient whereby water flows into the epidermal cell. This flow exerts a force called root pressure that helps drive the water through the roots. Root pressure is partially responsible for the rise of water in plants, but it cannot alone account for the transport of water to the top of tall trees. The cortex conducts water and dissolved minerals across the root from the epidermis to the vascular cylinder, whence it is transported to the rest of the plant. The cortex also stores food transported downwards from the leaves through the vascular tissue. The innermost layer of the cortex usually consists of a tightly packed layer of cells called the endodermis, which regulates the flow of material between the cortex and the vascular tissue. The vascular cylinder is anterior to the endodermis and is surrounded by a pericycle, a layer of cell that gives rise to the branched roots. The conductive tissue of the vascular cylinder are usually arranged in star-shaped pattern. The xylem tissue, which carries water and dissolved minerals, comprises the core of the star. The phloem tissue, which carries food, is located in small groups between the point of the star. The older roots of the woody plant form secondary tissue, which leads to an increase in girth. These secondary tissue are produced by the vascular cambium and the cork cambium. The former arise from meristematic cells that lie between the primary xylem and phloem. As it develops, the vascular cambium forms a ring around the primary vascular cylinder. Cell division in the vascular cambium produce secondary xylem to the inside of the ring and secondary phloem to the outside. The growth of these secondary vascular tissue pushes the pericycle outward and splits the cortex and epidermis. The pericycle becomes the cork cambium, producing cork cells that replace the cork and epidermis. Thank you. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, please view the previously uploaded video. Please hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time whenever we upload a new video. Thank you.